Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for May of 2021. This month's themes around work and service are going to bring up a lot of thoughts about job and your job environment. And if you want to explore that in a reading, your best choice would be the Mission Orders reading. And there's a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, you might notice there's somebody new here, and that would be Betsy Cardis. She is joining our practice. We're really excited to have her. And today, Betsy is going to be telling you about the transit of Venus in your house structure. But before we get to that, I'm going to start this, kick this off by talking about the moons, including an eclipse. But we're going to start with the first moon of the month, which is happening on May 11. And you can see it right here. It's a new moon in Taurus in the 5th house. And the moon loves to be in Taurus. It's so placid and tranquil that when we were working on this, we got the image of the lotus, right? A lot of feelings of peace there. And also this moon trines Pluto in Capricorn. So the image that we came up with for that was the swamp. So the lotus in the swamp is what we are calling this moon. And it's just kind of a way to even in emerging out of chaos to find peacefulness and tranquility. It's landing for you in the 5th house, and new moons have to do with new beginnings, fresh starts, planting seeds. The 5th house is the house of children and creativity, play, self-expression, and self-discovery. So this moon is a really great time to plant new seeds around those themes for yourself. Now, the second moon of the month is the one that's going to be more dramatic, and that's because this one is an eclipse. And we know that it's an eclipse because the moon and the sun are opposed to each other, and the nodes, the south node here with the moon, the north node here with the sun, they're very close to the moon and sun. And that is what makes this an eclipse. So an eclipse is always built on a lunation, either a new moon or a full moon. This is built on a full moon, and it's in what we like to call the axis of service. These two houses, the 12th house is spiritual service. It's about compassion and empathy, whereas the 6th house is about physical service, creating order and useful systems. And so this eclipse falling in the 12th house, as it does, is likely to stir up strong emotions that seem to come from deep unconscious places within you. And so chances of your having some shadow material emerge that you have to look at are pretty good. This moon is in Sagittarius, and also the south node is with the moon. So this is a releasing eclipse rather than an initiating eclipse, which is what it would be if the north node was with the moon. And it being in Sagittarius, you might find that you're in the position of being shown some shadowy, formerly hidden and deeply held beliefs that you have. And that while in the past you may have been in the habit of spreading those beliefs around with a great deal of strong opinion and even zealotry, on this occasion, a much better course of action would be to head in the direction of that north node in Gemini, apply some logic, some rationality, and think it through using your mind. So that is the recommendation. This one we're calling Get Off Your Pulpit and Be Curious. And that's really the best approach. So Julia, I think you've got some news about Mercury. What's that stuff?
All right. Well, Capricorn, hello. I'll first begin with Mercury because that's the planet that represents how we communicate as well as how we think, or what area of life is going to occupy the most of our mental attention. So for the very first couple of days of the month, Mercury is still in the 5th house, just like it was last month. The 5th house being a house of children, also a house of creativity. So during this time, you probably, if you have any children, we're noticing that you guys we're communicating a lot more together, whether that means sending texts, having phone calls, or just more conversations together. And if you do anything creative, especially with your hands, which are Mercury ruled, such as crafting or maybe sculpting or working at an easel, it could have been a very productive time for you as well. But by May 3rd, Mercury is going to move into your 6th house. This is the house of work. This is also the house of health. So if you do anything at work which is Mercury related, that would include teaching, buying, selling, writing, communicating, for example. This can also be a very fruitful period for you, or you might notice there's a lot more communication among you and the people that you work with. And since this is also the house of health, you could be spending a lot of time thinking and strategizing about your own health routines, whether that's, whether you need to research some new doctor or you want to start off a new health routine, your mind might be pretty preoccupied with that. Then Mars, the planet of action and activity, is in Cancer all month, meaning it is in your 7th house of partnership. So the 7th house represents all one-to-one relationships, including your romantic relationship, but it can also extend to business partners and even consultants, meaning people that you hire to give you advice on a one-to-one, in a one-to-one context. Now, wherever we have Mars, we put our energy, but we can also run into conflict. So you and your partner, even if you have a good relationship, might have a few more disagreements than usual. And if you hire a consultant, you might run into, some conflicts with them, maybe about the advice that they're giving you as well. A very good use of this transit is to see if you can get a lot of work done with your partner, maybe like channel that Mars energy into, a good project that the two of you share, for example. And yeah, that's pretty much what you need to know. And Betsy, do you have anything to tell us about Venus this month?
I sure do, Capricorn. So Venus has started out the month too in your 5th house. So you might have been feeling a little bit more playful or more creative than usual, bringing in some flowers from the garden or just enjoying the sights and sounds a little more. But on May 8th, Venus moves into Gemini, which is your 6th house. So it'll be time to bring that beauty into your workplace or into your daily routine somehow. So one idea for Venus and Gemini in the 6th is to color code your spreadsheets because Gemini is about the data and the thinking, and then Venus wants you to beautify and appreciate and value what you have. And that's all happening in the area of your health, daily routines, and work in terms of your service on this earth. So it's a nice way to kind of soften all the work that you're doing and bring in the beauty to see how much energy you can add with Venus.
Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing is over the course of the month, we see planets that had been in Taurus are gradually moving on into Gemini, which is, as Betsy and Julia have been saying, the 6th house. It's the arena of work, health, service, personal organization, also small animals, paradoxically. And so there's such a gathering of energies here that it really brings a lot of attention and a sort of a spotlight and a focus into those arenas. And as the sun moves into Gemini, we get a new season, the season of mutable air, which is what Gemini is. And a great metaphor for that is like a field filled with beautiful flowers, wildflowers of so many different colors, and the bees buzzing around and the birds flying around and the butterflies, fluttering all over the place, and all the little animals active and moving. And that's just kind of, the very nature of springtime, right? And so expect this month to be, loaded with activity and mobility and communication as well. So we have made you a kind of a special and different set of videos this month. And that is, it's been an opportunity for us to get, I think, a little bit vulnerable, and also for you to get to know Betsy a bit. And that is a set of videos on the topic of, well, how do astrologers cope with their own transits? And there you can find out which planets we love and, how we deal with stuff when it's a planet we don't love quite so much. So enjoy that. You'll find it in the May 2021 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. And You will also find that on our monthly forecast page, and which you can find on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And what's the other part? Oh, well, if you want a reading, you can find that on our website, or you can even take a class as well. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.